Hello dear students, today we are going to see non-linear pharmacokinetics. Before studying non-linear, let us know what is linear pharmacokinetics. So at therapeutic doses, the change in amount of drug in the body is directly proportional to its dose, whether administered at single dose or multiple dose. In this case, the rate processes are said to follow first order or linear kinetics, and all the plots of C versus T at various doses are superimposable. The important pharmacokinetic parameters like FKE, elimination constant, volume of distribution, renal clearance, hepatic clearance, which describes the time course of a drug in the body, they remain unaffected by dose. Thus, they are known as the pharmacokinetics is dose independent. So, this is the linear pharmacokinetics, that is the drug concentration increases is proportional to the administered dose, and the pharmacokinetic parameters they remain constant throughout the time course and they remain unaffected by the dose. In case of non-linear pharmacokinetics, what is happening? The rate processes, that is ADME, depends upon the enzyme which have limited capacity, okay, and which are substrate specific and are susceptible to saturation at high drug concentration. So in this case, the first order kinetics will get transformed into mixture of first order and zero order, and the parameters change with the size of the administered dose. Okay, so in this case, the pharmacokinetics are dose dependent, and the other terms used to determine non-linear pharmacokinetics are what? Mixed order, non-linear, and capacity limited kinetics, because they have the limited capacity. Okay. Detection of non-linearity in pharmacokinetics. There are several tests to detect non-linearity. First is determination of steady state plasma concentration at different doses. In case of normal linear kinetics, the plasma steady state plasma concentration at different doses remains constant. But if it is changing at different doses, that means the drug is showing non-linearity. Similarly, when you will determine the important pharmacokinetic parameters, okay, at different dose of drug, they are usually constant, but any change in these parameters is indicative to non-linearity. Causes of non-linearity. Four processes are taken under these causes of non-linearity. First is absorption. So non-linearity in absorption can arise from the three sources. First is when absorption is solubility or dissolution rate limited. Okay. So at higher doses, a saturated solution is formed, and because of which rate of absorption attains a constant value, and you can say that bioavailability decreases in case of this first parameter. Then absorption involves carrier mediated transport system. So whenever there is a saturation of this particular carrier mediated transport system, again there is a decrease in absorption. Okay, so the higher doses of these drugs, okay, uh, carrier mediated transport system can get saturated, okay, and again it can lead to non-linearity. Pre-systemic gut wall or hepatic metabolism attains saturation. So when higher doses of drugs like propranolol, hydralazine, verapamil is taken, saturation takes place of this hepatic first pass metabolism, which is responsible for decrease in bioavailability in the body. So what is happening? Due to saturation of hepatic first pass metabolism, it is causing increased bioavailability. So the decrease in this parameters takes place, that is decrease in absorption parameters takes place in the first two cases because there is decrease in absorption, and increase in the third case takes place because there is increased bioavailability. Okay, so these parameters increase in case of the lighter cause. Then comes that is non-linearity in distribution. So in this case, non-linearity may be due to saturation of binding sites on plasma proteins. Okay, because there is a finite number of binding sites for a particular drug on plasma protein. At higher concentration, what can happen? the saturation of this binding site takes place, so the fraction unbound is increased in this case. Okay. Similarly, the saturation of tissue binding sites can also occur at higher doses. Okay. Now, in both the cases, what is happening? There is increase in the plasma drug concentration, but there is increase in volume of distribution only in case 1, because more is the fraction unbound, more is the volume of distribution. Clearance with high elimination rate get increased due to saturation of binding site. More is the fraction unbound, more is the metabolism, more is the clearance. Okay. So volume of distribution increases only in the case 1, not in the second case. Then non-linearity in drug metabolism can occur due to the two causes, that is capacity limited metabolism due to saturation of enzyme or cofactor. Okay, so here metabolism is not taking place now, the drug is remaining as it is. Okay, so why? Because enzyme or cofactor is getting saturated. And second is enzyme induction. Okay, so non-linearity can occur due to enzyme induction also. Okay, that is, as you increase concentration of more and more, as you increase the dose of the drug, okay, auto induction takes place. Okay, and due to auto induction of the enzyme, there is a decrease in peak plasma concentration over a period of time. Okay, so saturation of enzymes, it causes decrease in hepatic clearance because no metabolism is taking place. Okay, but in case of enzyme induction, more and more metabolism is taking place, so there is increase in hepatic clearance. Other reasons include saturation of binding sites, inhibitory effect, metabolites, action of enzymes, and pathological conditions like hepatotoxicity. Then non-linearity in drug excretion can take place by two cases. That is, if there is a saturation in active tubular secretion, in that case what will happen? Secretion is not taking place. That is the reason why there is a decrease in renal clearance. Second is, if there is a saturation in active tubular reabsorption, that is, there is more and there no reabsorption is taking place. In that case, there is an increase in renal clearance. Okay, so half-life also increases in case of first case. Okay, other reasons are forced diuresis, change in urine pH, nephrotoxicity, and saturation of binding sites. So example of drugs, okay, which show non-linearity in biliary excretion are tetracycline and indomethacin. So these are the causes and the drugs which show this non-linearity. Okay. Now, non-linear pharmacokinetics can be best described by this Michaelis-Menten equation, which is minus dC by dt is equal to Vmax C divided by Km plus C. So minus dC by dt is what? Rate of decline of drug concentration with time. Vmax is theoretical maximum rate of process, and Km is Michaelis constant. Now three situations can arise depending upon the values of Km and C. If the Km is equal to C, what can happen? The equation will get reduced to minus dC by dt is equal to Vmax by 2. Okay, so Km is equal to C, so this will become 2C. So the equation becomes this. Okay, if Km is very much greater than C, then what can happen? The equation becomes minus dC by dt is equal to Vmax into C divided by Km. So above equation, it will be it is identical to, you can see, first order reaction. Okay, so where Vmax upon Km, you can write it as Ke. Okay, when Km is very much less than C, then in this condition Km plus C is equal to C. Okay, so in this case what will happen? Minus dC by dt, the C parameter will get eliminated, is equal to Vmax. Now here you can see it is applicable to one that describes zero order process, that the rate process is independent of the concentration of the drug. Okay, example is metabolism of ethanol. Okay, so this is the case. Now how will you estimate Km and Vmax? Okay, so for this two assumptions have been done, that the drug follows single compartment kinetics, and second, it is getting eliminated by single capacity rate limited process. Okay, So it can be assessed from the plasma drug concentration. So rewriting the equation minus, that is the Michaelis-Menten equation, then integration of this will give log C is equal to log C0 plus C0 minus C divided by 2.303 into Km minus Vmax divided by 2.303 divided by Km. So when you plot a graph of C versus T, you will get a curve with terminal linear portion. This is the graph. Okay. So where this is the y-intercept log C0 and slope will be minus Vmax divided by 2.303 into Km. Okay. So when I will back extrapolate it, I will get a y-intercept log C0 back extrapolated. So in this case, the equation will be log C is equal to log C0 minus, back extrapolated minus Vmax divided by 2.303 upon Km. Okay. So at low plasma concentration, equations A and B, that is these two equations are identical. Okay, you can see from the curve these two equations are superimposable on each other. So you can say these are identical. By simplifying, so what will happen, this equation becomes equal to each other. So when you will simplify this equation, you will get this equation. So from this equation you can easily calculate the Km, and Vmax can be calculated by substituting the Km values in the slope. Okay, so why it is important to estimate Km and Vmax, that is these two parameters will help you to decide the dosage of the particular patient. Okay, so each patient have different Km and Vmax values for each process. Okay, so based on these values, we will adjust the dosing or dosage regimen of that particular patient. Now, three methods are used to determine Km and Vmax. First is Lineweaver-Burke plot. Okay, just take reciprocal of Michaelis-Menten equation. You will get this equation and just write Cm instead of C. So, what is Cm? Plasma concentration at the midpoint of the sampling interval. So, this equation, you know, it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So, when you will plot a graph of 1 upon dc by dt, divided by 1 upon Cn, okay, you will get a straight line with y-intercept 1 upon Vmax and slope will be Km upon Vmax. Okay, disadvantage of Lineweaver-Burke plot is the points are clustered. Second is Haynes-Wolff plot. So just multiply this whole equation by Cm. Okay, so you will get this equation. So again this equation is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So plot of c divided by v, that is Cm divided by dc by dt versus Cm. What I will get? I will get this as the y-intercept and this as the slope. Okay, so it will give a straight line with 1 upon Vmax as the slope and Km divided by K Vmax as the intercept. Okay, third is Wolff-Augustinson-Hofstee plot. So they have equation, they have rearranged this Michaelis-Menten equation in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, and they are getting this equation. So plot of dc by dt versus dc by dt by Cm gives a straight line with slope minus Km and intercept of Vmax. You can also calculate Km and Vmax from steady state concentration. Okay, so what is this steady state concentration? That is the rate of input of drug is equal to rate of elimination. Okay, so that is the steady state concentration. So if you have steady state concentration data, you can also calculate Km and Vmax from them. So if a drug is administered at constant rate, the steady state concentration is given in terms of dosing rate, that is dr is equal to CSS into clearance, that is total clearance. Okay, so what is this dosing rate? It is the desired rate or at which drug should be administered to achieve a steady state. So the desired rate at which the drug should be administered to achieve a steady state, that is known as dosing rate. Okay, so if steady state is reached, what you can say, input is equal to output, that is the dosing rate is equal to rate of decline in plasma drug concentration, And as we have assumed earlier, if the decline is occurring through single capacity limited rate process, in that case you can write dosing rate in place of minus dc by dt, and instead of c you just have to write concentration at steady state. Okay, so this is the equation used. Okay, just my same Michaelis Menten equation, just substitute the c with css and minus dc by dt in as dr. Okay, so again rearranging this equation, when you will plot a graph of css versus dr, you will get a typical curve having a shape of hockey stick. Okay, so this you can see. Okay, and this is known as the km. Now what is km? It is the concentration at which the rate of the reaction becomes half. Okay, so Vmax by 2. Now how will you determine km and Vmax at steady state? There are three methods used. Okay, so first is Lineweaver-Burke plot. Just take this equation and take a reciprocal of this equation. Okay, so you will get this. Okay, so again it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. Plot a graph of 1 upon cs versus 1 upon dr. You will get this as slope and this you will get as a Vmax. Then comes direct linear plot. Okay, if you have a pair of CSS1 and 2 against the dosing rate DRN1, so directly linear plot you can do, and the intersection of this plot, okay, when you will extrapolate on x-axis you will get Km, and when you will extrapolate on y-axis you will get the Vmax. Okay. Then comes graphical method. Okay, just rearrange the Michaelis-Menten equation for steady state. You will get this equation. So plot of this versus this. Okay, you will get this as the slope and y-intercept as Vmax. Okay. So you can also estimate by simultaneous equation, that is for dosing rate 1 this is the equation and for dosing rate 2 this is the equation. So you can just simplify it in terms of km, that is take this km term on this side and simplify it, you will get this equation. So from this equation now you will get the values of dr1 dr2 css1 and css2. Okay, you will have this data, just substitute the data here, you will get the value of km, and from kn you can easily find the Vmax at steady state concentration. Okay, so just substitute the value of Km in any one equation and you will get the value of Vmax also. Okay. From experimental observation, it shows that Km is much less variable than Vmax. Okay. So what is the limitation? As I have told you, we have done two assumptions, that is the drug follow one compartment kinetics and the elimination takes place by single capacity limited rate process. Okay. So what are the limitations? What if the drug is eliminated by more than one capacity limited processes? You cannot estimate Km and Vmax by this method. Second is if the drug is following linear kinetics and the drug is following multi-compartment kinetics, in that case also you cannot estimate Km and Vmax with the help of this method. Okay. So with this we have completed the chapter. So if thank you for listening.